So if you have the slides right in front of you, then this should be easy. We were talking about change, and first of all, what is change? Change is an act or a process where something becomes different. So change is not sudden, change is not instant. Change is a process. So when you have to define it, if you don't use words like process or things that happen through time, you're gonna get it wrong. Then when we talk about a transition, it's the process or period of changing from one state or a condition to another. So on your timetables, you see over there's period 1, there's period 2, and then in between there's a transition. It's because transition is that period, that time of change is transition. You are going to transition into university students and into graduates and successful people who will change the world. So that's what transition is. Then resistance is the refusal to accept or comply with something. And when it comes to change is when we are using resistance to not allow the change to happen, or for us to think we can stop the change from happening. That is what resistance is. And we want to answer the question for ourselves: how do we handle change in our life? And for the most part, we are terrible with change. The only change we are okay with is a change that we started. If I'm changing things, then change is great. If change is forced on me, change is not great. And that's not good. We need to learn how to handle change, because change will always happen. And the only people who we can honestly expect to handle change well is ourselves. We can only change ourselves. We can change our reaction to change when it's thrust upon us. We are the only ones who can make change work for us. But we cannot stop change. A lot of things are out of our control. The less power we have, the less likely we can bring about change. Then we looked at page 26 in your textbook. There's a little block on the corner. It's called skills focus. There we're talking about how to deal with change. And the first big thing, guys, is we can predict change. Or the change we can predict, we need to plan for. So you know that next year SSB is saying don't come back. So next year you are going to be a young adult, whether you like it or not. So you start planning for that. You start planning with, what am I doing with my life next year? And because of the power structures, you can't say to yourself, or no, I'll see when things go, or you've only planned change in your brain about what you're doing next year, but you haven't shared it. Issues of money, of finances, of people, of where you're gonna be, logistics. You need to share that plan so that people can help you. And that's why the second big point that you will see on your slides is you need to talk to someone about how you feel about the change. Even if you're not a people's person, even if you apply that or you plan things better, or when I tell people my dreams, that's when they spoil them. Even if you subscribe to that illogical way of thinking, it is so important, guys, to tell someone your plans so they can tell you if they make sense and support you when necessary. So think about, for instance, if you're saying next year, I'm going to look for a job. You see, when you say it to me, then I can ask you, okay, in what? Okay. In the country where the majority are unemployed, what makes you so special to just get a job? Things like that need planning. You need to be reaching out and seeing people and things like that. So that's why, dude, speak to someone. And then we feel better about change if we educate ourselves. The more you know about something, the better it will feel when it happens to you. So it's important to get as much information as possible about your options and the things you want to do next year, so that you make informed decisions. And then, don't rush into feeling better about change. Change is hard. It's okay to, in the beginning, struggle to adjust. But what we must not allow ourselves to do is like being a victim and saying we're still adjusting. Hey, Mamel, when it's April and people ask you how's matric and you say I'm still adjusting, guys, it's too late. It's too late, man. You need to actively work at adjusting to change so that you can get over the fact that things change. Because once you are over the fact that things have changed and allow change to make you change a couple of things about your behavior, then you're able to use your energy properly in making the change work for you. Then we looked at the transitioning between school, varsity, and work. It's also in your textbook, it's page 27. There's a lovely table there, very, very lovely. It just brings out my eyes. It's so lovely. In any case, there, what you will see is that school and work is quite similar in the experiences. School, there's times you must come, there's times where it finishes, there's expectations, you must finish work, your teacher holds you accountable. And at work, it's quite similar. So when you have to try and memorize the transitions, remember that in your brain, that because they're similar, I need to channel how would work feel like school. Well, work has a starting time, and there's a register I have to sign in that I'm at work. I have a boss who's going to hold me accountable. There's a dress code for work. If I want to be a lawyer, I can't come in a short pen into a court, they'll kick me out. So they're quite similar. While university is in the middle, because that's where we are forming ourselves. And by forming ourselves, we are quite frankly finding who we are, and if we're okay with that. That's why it feels relaxed. But ultimately, work and school are similar. So go through that table. And as a side note, for those of you who plan, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, so I'll be living freedom. No, bro. If you're an entrepreneur, you're going to work harder than everybody else. You're going to work longer hours. You're going to have to be stricter with yourself, because if your business fails, you're not eating. And some of you, when you lose weight, you look good. Some of us, if we lose more weight, no more. Yeah.